When I got 20 people fired because they tried to fire me, my accidental revenge that I didn't plan, but I'll be damned if you back me into a corner. A few years ago, I was working at a petrol station on a freeway. Unfortunately, one afternoon I'd had a freak accident reaching for my drink bottle and I slipped a disc between L5-S1. Side note, it was beyond anything I'd ever experienced. My mother dressing me as a grown adult, heavily relying on opioids as if I even so much as cough, my legs would crumble. Many months of recovery later, I was approved to return for minimal hours. I understand it was an accident, and I didn't blame it on the company. But it happened at work, which probably saved me years of spinal surgeries. One day back at work, during a 4-hour shift, I'd had a sore throat that day. Normally, we are allowed to grab a coffee once a shift. I asked the 2IC, let's call him Clifford, if I could have a cup of slushy instead to soothe my throat. Clifford responded, "Yeah, that's cool, just put it in a coffee cup." So I did just that. Side note, I was soothed. The next morning around 7 a.m., I awoke to an official email from this company stating I'm being suspended without pay due to a breach of conduct. Obviously, I'm baffled and upset. I reply and we set up a meeting in person 2 days later. Attending, me, my support person, the 2IC, the store manager, and 2 persons from HR, which I'm sure they had to make a gigantic drive for. We sit down. I'm still baffled. Store manager, hi, so we've called you here today for an offense that we can terminate you immediately for. At this point, I was absolutely shitting myself. What have I done? It was like when you go through airport customs and you're wondering if a kilo of cocaine was somehow in your carry-on. I ask them to elaborate. They begin with a very patronizing question. First red flag. Do you understand the definition of stealing? Me, still baffled. I would like to think so. The store manager begins. He was 5'5", 50 years old, very flamboyant. Monday, you drank a slushie out of a coffee cup, and that is a breach and considered stealing. At this point, I was relieved because the 2IC was in the meeting, and I reacted like, this is all a misunderstanding. I asked Clifford before I touched anything. I thought it was same, but double-checked and got permission. This MF, 2IC, looks me directly in my eyeballs, across the table, and says, "Section, that never happened." The silence was palpable. My jaw was in my lap. My eyes are darting back and forth, thinking there's no way I'm being set up, LeMay. 170 scenarios ran through my head. Confusion, shock, anger, then acceptance. My back was fucked. I was trying my best to recover, and now being accused of ripping petrol station off by 0.03 cents worth of slushy so the managers could get a bonus from getting rid of me.